Season 3 is officially here, and of course, we got you guys with the updated setting class when it comes to Modern Warfare 3. This is going to be showing you guys everything, my settings in depth, just when it comes to making me the player that I am, when it comes to making my game, how it looks, and of course, I got you guys with the best tips and tricks just to be better at Modern Warfare 3. If you do enjoy, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. I want you guys to comment down below how you feeling about Season 3 so far. Let's hop right into these settings. So we're starting off with the graphics tab. We're on display. I do play on PC, by the way. For the display mode, we'll make sure you have that on full screen exclusive so you get the most amount of frames. Monitor display, whatever monitor you have, that's the name that it will show there. I do have a 3090 Ti, but I am looking to get a 4090 as well at some point. My screen refresh rate, in other words, my hertz is going to be at 240. I do play on 1440. I'm telling you right now, if you don't play 1440 and you still play on 1080, once you go to 1440, you'll never go back to 1080. That I can guarantee you. So if you're looking to just like up the quality, definitely try 1440. If you know what I'm saying, if you got a little bread to spare like that, do 1440 with 240 hertz. It's a little hefty now, I ain't gonna lie to you, but it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth the price. The game looks extremely smooth. It feels smooth. It's just a lot better in my personal opinion than 1080. My display game is going to be on 2.2. I kept that default to how it was. Brightness set to 50. That's also pretty much default to how I left it when the game came out. The video reflex, that's on. Basically, low latency mode is enabled in optimizing system latency. We have the echo mode. This right here, I really did not touch. They added this to the game, and I just left it to what it was. My VSync gameplay is going to be off. My VSync menus going to be 100%. Obviously, the frame rate is on custom, just so I can get the maximum amount of frames in the game. And a lot of these right here are going to be set to just pretty much default, but you want to make sure you have the HDR off, because it makes the game look extremely dark. For some odd reason, I don't know why that's even a thing, especially if you're on console. This definitely does affect it pretty heavy. Now for the quality tab, my graphics is going to be set to custom because I did change a lot of this stuff. Render resolution, make sure you set that to 100. Play on 1440 like I do, it'll say 1440, but if you have yours on 1080, whenever you do put it to 100, it will say 1080 as well. Dynamic resolution, that's going to be off. My upscaling and sharpness, make sure you have this on Philadelphia FX Cast. This is the best one out of all of them when it comes to just making the game look a lot better, making the game look more prettier, and it's overall, like I said, the best one. Whenever you do switch it to that, you would make sure you set it to 100%, so it maximize it out. The game looks maximum great. The path tracing and ray construction, make sure you have that off as well. When I did have this on at one point, it was making my PC lag extremely hard, and really don't even need this. Call of Duty, you really don't even need this unless you're playing like campaign, but like I said, turn that off. My VRAM scale target is going to be on 70. That's pretty much default. My details and textures, a lot of this right here is going to be set to low because it's Call of Duty. You don't need the game looking extremely crazy. You just want the maximum amount of frames. So a lot of these are going to be set to low. My texture resolution is going to be on low. My texture filter right here is going to be on normal. Depth of field, make sure you turn that off because it makes the game extremely blurry at a certain point. So make sure you do have that off. Detail quality level is going to be on low. Like I said, particle resolution is on low. Bullet impacts, I did turn this off, but if you want it on, you can. That's like a personal preference kind of setting. Persistent effects, that's off as well. Shader quality is going to be on low. On demand textures, it just basically downloads things in the back, but not affecting how the game runs. Just make the game look a lot better, and it definitely does help in my personal opinion. So I suggest you do turn this on. Same thing with this local texture streaming quality. You just set that to normal. My shadow and lighting settings, my shadow quality is going to be on low. Screen space is on low as well. Ambient collision, that's going to be on both. That's just strictly default. The screen space reflection is going to be on normal. Static reflection quality is on low. Now for the environment tessellation, we did put that on near. The volumetric quality, that's on low as well. This is like for the weather and stuff like that in the game. You don't need these cranked up. That will definitely make you have lower frames. So a lot of these right here are going to be set on low. And I have the water quality on off because I mean it's water. How often do you run in water when it comes to Call of Duty or just this game in general? But we just set that to be off as well. Now for my view, the field of view that be running on this game is going to be 120. I think 120 is the best thing. I've been using it ever since Cold War when they did add it to console, but obviously whenever I did switch to PC, I've been using 120. Obviously, people say you don't need 120 in multiplayer. I don't care. I like 120. I think 120 is a lot smoother. We also have the ADS field of view going to be unaffected. I think once you do 120 affected, it eliminates any sort of visual recoil that the gun could have possibly had. And that's like a known fact. Everybody doesn't know that. Up in field of view is going to be on wide because it does make the gun a lot smaller. And once you make like these guns look smaller, it does eliminate visual recoil, and that's definitely one of the perks of being on PC as well, or just one of the perks of having, you know, field of view just in Call of Duty in general. My camera, my world motion blur, and my weapon motion blur, make sure you set those to be off, because if you have one of those on, wherever you look in the game, either your gun will be extremely blurry or the actual map will be blurry. And if you have both of them on, then they're both will just be blurry, and it just messes up everything you have going on. So I suggest you do turn that off so your game looks a lot more clear, so it can help you out. Same thing with the field grain, does make the game extremely blurry at a certain point, so you definitely make sure you have that turned off. These three settings right here are just so important. Like, for every good Call of Duty player, they have these off. I can literally guarantee you that. First person movement, set that to default as well, because whenever you play the game, whenever you do get hit by a grenade or a stun or anything like that, you don't want your camera to be shaking extremely hard, so make sure you put that to the least that it can be, which is going to be 50%. Third person movements, you keep these to default. I didn't change any of these settings as well, nor did I change the spectator camera. I did change the inverted flash on, so whenever I do get flashbang, the screen does become black, which is one of the best settings they ever added in Call of Duty, just because I don't want to go blind by the time I'm 25, because flashbang is so goddamn strong on this game. Now for the audio tab, when it comes to the audio tab, a lot of this stuff right here is going to be like just default and just based on what your system has plugged into it. But a lot of stuff right here are some of the stuff I did change when it comes to like the audio mix. Make sure you set it to headphone bass boost. That's the best one when it comes to Call of Duty. This right here allows you to hear every single thing in the entire game, especially when you do play with a headset. A lot of these settings right here are going to be set to default. I mean, the master game volume, make sure you put that on 100, because obviously you wouldn't hear everything. I did turn a lot of these down because it was either music or just the game was just extremely loud in my ear. And I just like, let me just lower that down, bro. Certain shit in this game doesn't even need to be that loud. Voice chat, this is personal preference to how loud you want it. Voice chat, obviously I do have that on, and a lot of these settings right here are just default to whatever you have plugged into your system. Like a lot of these, I don't even have like set to anything, just because I don't have a mic plugged into this PC. But yeah, a lot of these right here are going to be set to whatever you have plugged exactly into your console. You'll just switch them to that setting. One thing I did change on here as well is going to be the hit marker sound. I did put it on Modern Warfare. I don't think this is like the actual Modern Warfare 3's hit marker sound, or it might be, but either you can use this one or you can go back to the OG classic MW2 hit marker sounds. I just use the regular MW3 audio. Our next tab is going to be the interface tab as well, just helping you guys make the game look a lot better. Subtitles, I do have that default. This is like only for campaign, so you can just set these to how you want them to look. I get a lot of questions and people ask me, am I colorblind? Because obviously my colors are different when it comes to Call of Duty, and no, I'm not colorblind. I just changed like the colors of the players and the colors of like the flags, just so the game isn't boring to look at, you know, especially Call of Duty's been default for such a long time, and now that we have this cool setting where you can just change it to any color you want, that's exactly what I did. I took full advantage of that, and that's exactly what this tab right here allows you to do. You can change any color to literally whatever color you want. You can even create colors as well to something random that you like. But this is where my colors are set to. This is how I like them. I probably will change them at some point, but I do not have no color blind settings on whatsoever. This is just me changing the colors here in the element color tab. When it comes to the HUD, you do keep this default to what it is, as you can see. Minimap, make sure you do have that set on square. I'm pretty sure it does come default to square, but if it isn't, make sure you set it to square. Whenever you do put it on square, as you clearly can see from the pictures, it literally just makes the map bigger, and you can get a lot of more information just from the minimap being on square, besides it being on circle. Minimap rotation, we do have that on, so it allows you just to be a lot more aware and read the map a lot better whenever it is moving as you're moving. Compass, you can have that on if you want. I turned that off a long time ago because I don't give two flying shits about the compass. The crosshair, we have that on. Obviously, we have the center dot as well. I did put it to the largest setting so I can center a lot better. If you want to become good at Call of Duty when it comes to terms of aiming, centering is one of the most important things. So this setting right here can definitely help you guys get a lot better just with the center dot. You can use like the regular crosshair dot, but someone told me that this dot, like, it shakes a lot, so it's not like the greatest thing in the world. So definitely using the center dot is the better one. These settings right here are pretty much default. Hit marker visually, make sure you have that on, of course, so you can actually tell when you're getting hit markers. Same thing with the damage based hit marker. It literally allows you to see whenever you get a kill. These are very important. Player names, make sure you do have this on as well, because visibility in Call of Duty is not the greatest nowadays, but this right here definitely does help with the name tag above the heads. You can just literally shoot at the shoot at the name tags and it'll make things a lot easier. A lot of this stuff right here is just pretty much default. These 3 settings right here I didn't touch. The telemetry right here is now the stuff that you see on the top left on the screen. As you can see, I removed that, add it back. All I use is FPS counter, server latency, and packet loss. That's all you really need, because obviously you want to know your frames, and your server latency and packet loss allows you to see if you're lagging in game or not. But yeah, a lot of these right here are default. I didn't touch any of these settings right here. We're gonna keep those flat out, strictly how they are. Now we're gonna finally hop over to the controller tab for Modern Warfare 3. Obviously, I do play on a controller. I do have a Scuff Impact. I have 2 paddles in the back. My left paddle is to melee. My right paddle is to jump. Obviously, my input is going to be set to controller. Button layout, we do play tactical flip. I say this every time I bring my controller settings. Tactical is the best way to play Call of Duty, in my personal opinion. Especially if you don't have a Scuff, it allows you to slide with R3. And it makes the game a lot more smoother for you without you having to move your thumb a lot. When it comes to the flip option, this right here allows you to shoot with R1 and L1. R1 and L1 are a lot more responsive than R2 and L2. Only time I will say you probably don't need this if you have the Scuff controller and you have like the digital click buttons, which I do have digital click buttons, but I'm so used to shooting with R1 and L1 that I didn't switch it back. Default layout is going to be the stick layout for the controller vibration. That's off. I don't like vibration. If you use vibration and you enjoy it, by all means go ahead, but me personally, I definitely do not like it. Dead zone as well. This is basically just how much stick drift you do have. This is my dead zone settings, and I do have a lot of stick drift right here. You can clearly see I probably should raise my dead zone up, but I just haven't. So you can test your stick drift on your controller and just adjust the dead zone to exactly how you need it to be, to where you won't have stick drift whatsoever. Now for the aiming tab, our horizontal and vertical recoil vertical sensitivity is going to be 7.7. I play 7.7 religiously, depending on the year. Either I'll do 7.7 or 6.6. You want to change the advanced horizontal stick sensitivity to 1 for both of these things, but the way you do change it, which is kind of stupid, is that it's a custom, then you put it to the 1 setting, and then you go back and you put the actual setting that you want it, and then it'll lock it to where you can't adjust it at all. That's how they did it this year. I completely don't know why, but that's just their way of doing. But yep, a lot of these settings right here are going to be strictly default. I didn't touch any of these whatsoever. All of them are just going to be flat out set to 1, because that's just exactly how the game came. We have the new aim response curve sight, put it to dynamic. I seen Dashy say that standard is the new one. I don't know if he was trolling, because he does troll a lot, but I'm still going to stick with dynamic, because dynamic seems to be the best one when it comes to Call of Duty. So dynamic is definitely one you want to use. And these settings right here, a lot of it is going to be set to default. Of course, you have the aim assist on. And yep, a lot of these right here, I didn't touch not one of these settings whatsoever. A lot of these are going to be default. Whenever they added it to the game, that's when they added it to the game. I left it how it exactly was. Same thing with the gameplay tab. One thing I changed was the automatic tactical sprint, because I wanted to use that. I don't want to break my controller or like just use a lot of thumb muscle just to move around the map. So we set that to that. We have on the slide only behavior. You can do like dive and stuff like that, but if you want smoother movement when it comes to slide canceling, I would say just do slide only. That's exactly what I did here. And the rest of these right here are going to be set to default to how the game came. I didn't touch any of these settings whatsoever. A lot of these is strictly just going to be default. So this is my settings here in Modern Warfare 3. I want you guys to comment down below what's your sensitivity here in MW3. If you did enjoy, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.